So I had a massage earlier today.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And no lie, it helped for a good like 2 hours. And then after that, I got a horrible headache that came back.
You got to go to a chiropractor right after that.
I know. I need to just go to a chiropractor.
I'm going to do that in like probably this next week. Insurance kicks in finally.
Yeah. Hey guys, and welcome back to Jackal's Den 6. Today I got Infidel over here to my left. We're going to be talking a little bit about our post-op operations coming from the last weekend, and not to mention some of the gear that we used during that op that made our gameplay just all that more amazing. We had a lot of comments asking us what kind of gear we were using and what we were actually using in general during this year, but we're going to be going over that in more videos in the future. Anyways, Infidel, would you like to share a little bit about the gear that you have that you had for the op?
So, actually, at the very beginning, when we first pulled up, I was using my M249 with my HPA one, and I shot some rounds off of it, and it ended up jamming, and I couldn't, for some reason, I was just like, you know what, I'm not even going to bother just unjamming it, I'm just going to switch my rifle, because I had my trusty MILSIM rifle in the truck with me, and Death actually handed that over. You'll see that in the video too once you see it.
Which, speaking of, I want to bring that up in the video, because I had a big question about this, not to kind of break it up at all, but when you were using your HPA LMG, your 249, I was at least glad that you were able to get some shots out while we were actually on the footage itself.
Right.
So, I mean, I saw you got a couple kills there. I mean, was it shooting accurate enough, especially being in the rain?
Oh, absolutely. So with my M249, I use a Polar Star jack system with it. And that's when it started to kind of jam a little bit too hard with me. But I still got a few rounds off, and then I was like, okay, you know what, this isn't going to be inconsistent, so I went back to the truck and asked you for this one right here. This one is a little bit more consistent, because this system uses a Polar Star Kythera. Mm-hmm. This was one of the first round to go out to the Kytheras. I use a Specna Arms body, upper and lower receiver. I have a Noveski 15-inch rail that I put on there. Obviously my pec box, easy grip right here for C-clamping, so it really makes a difference. With this one, I actually use this quite a bit at this site. It's a 4 times, I believe. It's a Blackbird, Monstrum Blackbird.
Okay, which Monstrum's a great scope brand. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's on YouTube. It's actually a real steel scope brand, but they do Prism sights too. So any of you guys out there that like 3 times or anything below that too, they have some really cool scopes for. On my AK, I use a Monstrum as well at a 2.5.
And you have a Prism on that one up there, right?
I do. On my SRS, I got a 3 times on that as well. Yeah. And they do have frictional batteries too, so they recharge themselves, which is a real cool optic. I don't know if they do that with all the scopes though. I know that they do that with some of my 3 time up here, but I don't think they do that with this one. I might be wrong.
I'm not exactly sure what that is.
But that's a similar battery style to what you see in like real steel ACOGs.
Now this one I also do kind of have a canted red dot on it as well, just for a little razzle dazzle when you're going in like that through the hallways of this prison, because it was so much fun.
Right.
But it actually works really well for my short range. But other than that, of course, you saw in one of our other videos that we had, I think it was like a couple before this one, the battle belt. I have since updated my holster, because I went from the, I believe it was a Swiss Arms.
Yeah, the universal one.
Yeah, it was. I love that one, by the way, too, because it had the springs that were around it, so it flexed around the gun. Like no matter what, like pistol you tried to put inside of it, it was perfect. But this one, I went for an easier, no button release system. You just pull. It has this little thing that just locks right in there. So, and no, it doesn't It doesn't come out at all. It's awesome.
And these holsters were originally made by 3-gun shooters. This is a competition pistol holster. It's a Infidel actually, like some of mine that I've had in my past so often that he went and got one of these as well.
Right. It was just like the drop leg one that he has, that he uses, and that one is awesome, by the way, because I wanted to kind of do that, but
they don't make them for all pistols.
Yeah, I don't quite like the drop leg because it gets in the way sometimes if I'm crouching and the rest of my gear kind of jams up into it. That's just not my style. I like to have it on my hip because it's just an easier pull.
And now I've been going to the quick release, like they're just quick release tabs.
Right.
You get them and you can put them on anything. So like on my drop leg, or I put it on my side, or anything. You can put them on anything. There's MOLLE adapters for them all now, which is really nice, and you can swap it out for different holsters. Like I got a holster for this, I got a holster for my shotgun, I got my holster for every single one of my pistols. So if I ever want to put anything on me, all it is taking one holster out, putting it back in, and it just unbolts and clips. A lot of people have been switching that too. I saw a bunch of people doing that at the op, which I thought was really cool.
So also with our gear, we had to kind of model our gear around what we were doing at this op. So what our main objective was to be technical. We were the only gun truck out there on the field. We had, as you can see right here, we had our multiple miniguns. We had 2 miniguns posted on both directions, fully maneuverable, up, down, left, right, doesn't matter. They were perfect, and they were so much fun to shoot, man. That was like a highlight of my entire gameplay. But that's where you see me do the rifle swap right there, and then
which was unfortunate because honestly, the LMG would have been the prize possession when it came out there.
Well, they kind of faked us out a little bit over here because they didn't have a strong push up here like we thought that they would have. Most of their people went to the other side of the field, and they went around the back side instead of coming around this side where the actual objectives were inside this building.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really thought that they were going to push hard for Charlie, but at the same time, I think that they knew we were going to be there because they did have tag-ins on us pretty quick. I mean, we didn't survive here very long. This was probably a good 10 minutes. Even though, I mean, the footage has been cut down, obviously. But I don't think the truck was there longer than 10 minutes. And that was the first strike. And then, as you can see, Cameron's right here. He's just pulling out the flag, and we get hit by our second strike right after that. So, I mean, we weren't there long. We weren't there long.
We weren't supposed to be there for long. And, like, we couldn't really go out anyways unless we had gas cans. So we had to go back and literally sit there and wait for people to go and grab gas cans. We were on the radio all the time. The tryhards did really well with that too. Like a lot of those guys really tried to look for.
And breachers, thank you guys.
Yeah, breachers,
seriously.
awesome.
I mean, I know you just commented on some of our last footage. Thank you guys. You guys put in a lot of support for us too.
Right, it was so clutch because we really needed that to stay on the field and really help sweep you guys around and lay down cover fire for Tan until we eventually ended up having to get contracted back over to Greenside to kind of help them out. That was still fun, by the way,
and I mean, we weren't there to make sure that Green Time had a bad time or anything like that. I mean, we purposely didn't over push our step. We kind of realized that people were probably running out of anti-vehicle at a certain point in the time of the day, so we weren't trying to overwhelm them with, I mean, just fire. Because, I mean, we could have. In a real-life gun truck, I mean, you could run a field like this. And we didn't want to do that. We wanted to make sure Green was having a good time as well. So we definitely held back a couple times, but then we did push. We pushed all the way. Not to their AO, but to the line several times, just to remind them that we were there. Well, and even then, like, we were in front of Foxtrot here, and we were able to...
This is Delta.
Oh, my bad, Delta. And you were able to save this guy.
Yeah, that's a gas can in the background just over his shoulder. He was one of the guys that were...
That's the jerry can we're talking about for the people that don't know what we're talking about.
That was our gas that we needed, so we really wanted to try to give him support and try to get him up so he can go and grab, because we couldn't go and grab him ourselves.
No.
So we had to let them go and bring it to us, or bring it back to the CP.
And when we saw he was down, we had to get him up because he had the jerry can. That's how we were going to get back in the game. And we already waited a good hour after our first pushing down before somebody brought us a jerry can. Right. So I mean, for a whole first hour of the game, we couldn't even go back onto the field. Give or take, I mean, we walked onto the field and played, but we weren't able to actually launch the vehicle to get back out.
Right. But we linked up with what was it? Tryhards in there, in that building right there.
Well, that was after the fact.
Yeah, that was after.
Yeah, this is when it was still taken by Green. Once it was retaken by Tan, then yeah, the tryhards came in and ended up taking the rest of that. Cameron, I mean, he went up in the sky for the event too. I was gonna say he definitely had a damn good time. This was the first time he ever flown.
Right. This was Cam's first time in a helo too. That was.
Which if you guys haven't been on the helo, it's an amazing time.
So much fun. So worth it. 100% worth it. If you ever get a chance to, it's like a once in a lifetime type of thing. Unless you actually go to the MILSIMs that have these constantly, like TCA has them. Excuse me. TCA has them a lot. I'm not sure.
Right now, I think it's just Mir and TCA.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think American MILSIM has them at all.
Yeah, I don't know if any other companies are doing them right now. So I mean, we definitely feel a bit spoiled having the chopper.
And this chopper pilot was absolutely amazing too. Really good chopper pilot. He's actually a local guy too.
Yeah, and he's got two different helos. He's got this one, and then he's got I forget the name of it, but it's a retired police helicopter. Personally, I like the Little Bird better. That's just me.
Yeah, the Little Bird makes the aesthetic of it looks way cooler.
And supposedly, somebody's bringing a Huey to the next airsoft.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's over at GTI this year, which that would be really cool. I've never been in a Huey. I'm not sure who the pilot is on that. I would assume it's going to be another experienced.
That would be kind of dope to do.
Pilot.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, Huey would be fun. Thing is, where we ran into an issue with the bigger police helicopter is he had to be a little bit higher. He wasn't able to get lower like he was in the Little Bird. And when you're higher, I mean, it's great. We can get shots at this height, but if you're anything high, well, I mean, he's real low in this picture. Yeah. But if you're anything higher than where we are at currently when we're going over the city, it's really hard to land shots. It's really hard to land shots. I mean, we're kind of lucky landing shots from the height that he's currently flying right there, which this is about his normal flight. I would say this is about a good 2-3 stories. It's like 3-4 stories up is where he's at right now. Right. But it's just high enough where it's about 150 feet where we could actually land shots. Like you see Cameron takes out that shot right there. But the Huey, I'm worried about him being too high for anybody to really get any kills. And I mean, what's cool is if maybe he'll have mounted guns. He may have mounted guns on the inside of it. That would be dope.
That would be really dope.
Again, we don't know anything about whether or not that Huey's going to have what on the field.
Hypothetical on that point.
So hypothetical. But if he did that, that would be pretty cool. The only thing that would kind of suck is, to be honest, if he's any higher than this Little Bird could be, you're just not going to land shots.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to think a Huey is a big transport too, so it's like, that thing's going to be super loud and like, that's going to be a crazy one to have a GTI.
Yeah.
He's just going to be circling the whole time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not really, it's not a slow helicopter either, so I don't know.
It is kind of a slow helicopter.
Well, it's nothing like this where it can hover.
That's super maneuverability.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of maneuverability to this Little Bird to a Huey is going to be two different things. I mean, going up in the Huey is going to be great. I'm skeptical on it. I honestly am. I wouldn't mind doing it just for the sake of doing it, but I don't.
To say you can.
I just don't know if I would enjoy it as much as being on the Little Bird. I love being on the outside bench too. Like,
what was
totally? I'd live to be on that outside bench.
What was the op with the C-130? Was that?
That was in Perry, Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what Sirius Viking.
No, we were not up in the sky in the C-130.
No.
This was a retired C-130 that was on the ground and in pieces. But still, definitely, it was really cool to be in a C-130 to begin with.
And jump out of it. And sorry, I got to say that I jumped out of a C-130.
Yeah.
Even though it's decommissioned.
Technically, we jumped out of a C-130 for airsoft. We didn't go very far. It was about 5 feet.
Yeah, but still, it counts.
But no, I really liked over here on this. It really shows the amount of push that you guys were able to do with the minigun.
Right.
I mean, you guys gained almost 300 yards turning into this section.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so on this push over here was pretty much like that clutch little section right there around that building where we had to kind of get around there anyway. But we had to move our guys up. So that was one of our main pushes that we really needed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, this was the opposite side of the field going back behind Foxtrot. With the miniguns, it made it really easy for other squads to move up with us because it wasn't just this squad right here. We had another squad inside that building on the other side, and then we had another squad that was already halfway up onto Foxtrot on the back end. Now, as you can see, Green was spawning over here to the left.
Which wasn't supposed to be their spawn point.
No, it wasn't. And they were doing it because of the rain, so I get it and I understand. But I mean, we didn't have a spawn point that was undercover either. So
I mean, we had the little,
it was like
little
a pop-up
tent
tent.
thing, yeah.
Like, so I mean, realistically, I think that they just wanted their spawn to be there, and that's what they made it to be. I know that definitely doesn't fly at other MILSIMs for sure, but for this, I mean, it didn't make any real difference to us. We just didn't push that spot. I wasn't going to do that. I mean, if they're staging there, it's kind of a safety thing. I didn't want to do that to them.
We didn't go past that building, though, was the only thing. We kind of just stayed right up in that area and just held down this little spot so we could see both directions in through here and in between all the buildings over there.
This spot, they really dug in. I mean, I know that they always kept on coming to this corner because there was really no other hard cover for them.
That was fun for me.
But, I mean, seriously, you could just keep seeing hit markers because we keep on lighting people up in that small corner.
Yeah,
I know
kept
he gets
trying
some
to come
kills.
around.
Cameron gets 2 kills. I get a couple kills. I mean, right here, you see me out with my AK, which everybody was saying, where's my dust cover? I purposely don't run a dust cover on this. I like seeing the action come back. It's not a real steel. I mean, even though a real steel can operate without a dust cover, I'm not trying to aim. I just kind of free aim with this gun. It's a lot of fun. For people that own LCTs, I'm sure you can understand the exact same concept of what I'm going after. The blowback action is awesome. But I've been enjoying using that gun this year.
I was about to say, that's that one, right?
Yep. So it's the one right here. Sometimes I run my sights on it, sometimes I don't. It's just on that regular, what the fuck's it called? I always forget the name of this rail. I honestly do. But I mean, they use a quick detach mount system for it. And it makes it really easy to pop on and off my sights. This sight is sighted in. But realistically, it's a bit heavy for this gun, and this is already being a heavy gun. There's BB stuck there. But with this being a heavier gun, I'm not necessarily throwing this up every single time. So you watch a lot. I'm keeping my gun down a lot in footage too, and I'm only bringing it up for actual engagements.
I mean, you kind of should do that anyway.
Well, yeah, but I'm used to using the Vector, which my Vector actually went down one behind me, and with it being lighter, I can keep it up longer. No pun intended. But it's definitely part of having a lighter gun system. I do enjoy having a lighter gun. I'm not used to running a heavier gun. I know you use your LMG. It weighs almost the same amount as my AK.
Almost. That thing's heavier.
Yeah. Especially with having real steel parts in the AK too, makes it a lot heavier. Right. But I mean, unless you're used to running a heavy gun all the time, it's part of it, you know. I don't think a lot of people understand that. I don't think a lot of people really focus on the weight of their actual gear.
See, that's why I like my my Cry AVS plate carrier, because man, that thing with the cage system on it, it like just having the D clips on the back right there and being able to attach attaching my sling to it, and it really distributes the weight, not just off my shoulders, but it just kind of puts it more down into my lower back and around like the front part of my system too, so it just kind of holds it.
You don't seem to be getting as tired as much.
Right.
Your last plate carrier definitely seemed to be pulling from your stamina a little bit, especially for your longer endurance times when we are at MILSIMs for longer periods of time as well.
Exactly. All that weight was just on my shoulders because it was straps. This is actual like sturdy.
And to be honest, this was a bit of a hard MILSIM for people. If this was your first MILSIM, I honestly think this would have been a little bit harder for you. There was rain, as you can see in this footage, the blurriness, that's raindrops, all right? It was raining almost the entire event, minus probably a couple hours here and there. It wasn't hot. It was a little cooler in the beginning of the day, but it did warm up. I would say it got to like 70, 75, somewhere in there. So we weren't really breaking a sweat out there, but we were drenched. I mean, you can see when the minigun spools up here in a couple minutes, it just shoots off in every direction. It was pouring rain in a couple times. Yeah,
that was cool. I saw that on video. I was like, oh man, I hope I got that on my cam.
Yeah, and I had to add that onto the footage itself.
Yeah, the 360 cam was...
But I feel like we got a little jinxed because I always wanted to play this AO in the rain. I honestly did. I brought it up last year to Joker, and I brought it up to Hornsby, and I'm like, honestly, out of all the AOs to rain, this would be the one to do it because most of your engagements are going building to building. So you are just getting wet for that first couple of minutes of change of environment and then going into a building.
Right. Most of the engagements were in buildings anyways, except for like just like the little bit of people stacking up on the outsides trying to push. But for the most part, a lot of them were on the inside. This part, this little spot, when we get up into there, was a little bit sketchy.
This whole spot's dicey. There's a lot of angles. You have an open door there, an open door there. This entire building in front of us is an open building with several doors. You have the old bathrooms that are collapsing. There's people that just sit in those. The entire building across from us was actually out of play, but there was people on both sides of it because they couldn't go on the inside, but they stay on both sides. So realistically, we're kind of triangled in every time we drove the truck into here. I think we only survived pulling it out of that area once, and every other time we did die. I mean, the boys died. Not at this point. You guys didn't die in this part, but you died on the push after that. I died on my push on this one as well.
Once we got in between those two buildings over there, they've launched...
and I was going to say, I know that they launched some tag-ins at you. I was going to say, none of them... It was just the one that hit the ground next to the technical, but it didn't go off.
Yeah.
That was actually one that nicked Cameron's gun. It nicked... He was using an M4, and if you have the front sight on an M4... which I don't have any in front of me that have a front sight, but it carved right into the tag-in. I got the tag-in laying around, actually. I didn't pull it out for the video. But it was crazy because I was just stopping at this corner, and Cam goes, I got hit by a tag-in, and it just nicked his gun, and it ripped the tag-in like in half.
Just the tip of it.
And it was enough to like not ignite it, I guess, but it landed right next to the truck, so I'm like looking at the ground, I'm like, no way, and picked it up. We didn't call that one because it has to explode. Yeah. We were lucky that didn't explode. We were lucky that it didn't hit Cameron. I'll say there's his sight. You can see where his sight is. It bounced off of that. It like ripped off of the side of that. I wish we had more of that on footage.
You're not going to be able to see anything get launched from there.
No, and he didn't have any footage after that spot where I cut it right there too. So,
but I know that when I was in the back of that truck, I literally saw that tag-in come straight in. I was like, oh no! And like I thought when it hit, I didn't know that it went off to the side at first, and I thought it hit off of him and went back and past me, and I was waiting for it to explode, and I was doing my little like, where's it at? Where's it at?
It sucks. If you haven't watched our footage from this last game, Cameron actually, Trash Bag got hit twice. So that was his first time where it nicked his gun. The second time he took it directly to the wrist.
Right.
And it's our very last blooper at the very end of the video if you really want to see somebody get hit by a tag-in round. But we added in there because that's when we were switching to green, and green shot us with a tag-in almost point blank.
Right.
We had our red flag up and everything, but I guess that wasn't enough for whatever idiot shot us with a tag-in round. But, I mean... He had a blatant shot at Cameron too, which that made me kind of upset. Because like if you're going to shoot a tag-in, I mean, aim for my truck.
He shot it at the vehicle, and just so happened to be
at his distance. I don't know. I'm kind of questioning that. I mean, I use tag-ins too. If it was a true pop shot, okay, great. You did a pop shot and you hit a guy. I just hope you weren't actually aiming for a gunner because it was pretty close.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt people.
But, I mean, this is as far as we pushed up, though. We never pushed any further than this spot right here. I didn't plan on going any further than this. I kind of planned to get hit right here, to be honest. The reason I wanted the truck to get hit is I wanted people to dismount here because we did have tan in the building next to us, and I wanted them to kind of start flourishing and moving forward a little bit.
Right.
But I think collectively, everybody decided they weren't going to push any further, which I kind of like that, too. Because green did get to a point where they're only able to capture these, front couple buildings.
But wasn't that like a couple of other guys that you guys picked up or something?
Yeah.
When me and Templar were going and clearing the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, we ended up meeting up with Tonka and his boys. Hey, we love you guys. You guys had a great time. I'm glad all you guys had a blast in the back of the truck too as well. I know they've been commenting on a bunch of our stuff lately too, which, you know what, I think right now is a good time for a little bit of a shout out. I appreciate you guys giving a shout out and feedback to all of our videos. If you ever want to get a shout out on our video footage or podcast, just let us know. I mean, a big part of it is you show us support. We want to show you guys support.
Right.
But as you can see, we got a couple shout outs right here. We have Charles Soto 2 from actually a couple hours ago today. He said this was a drop that he just did today on us from the footage. Great footage. I wish I had more time to enjoy this event. Unfortunately, I broke my collarbone midday.
Oh, I remember that.
Brother, I'm so glad they got you off the field safely, because no lie, that sucks. Breaking any bone on the field in a hobby sport that we play sucks.
Right.
And, I mean, I heard that you slipped and fell. I forgot the whole story. I just know that that was part of it.
Yeah.
Damn, I mean, it was wet out there, bro.
Right.
I mean, we slipped off the truck a couple of times. I'm glad none of us got hurt, but I mean, it sucks that you got hurt, bro. And I appreciate coming onto our video and showing us a little bit of support in the comment section. There's always next year, and I really hope you do go back to the event and keep going, because it's not, I hope to God you don't have bad luck like that every time you go, man. That's horrible.
That would suck.
Seriously, I hope you get better, and I hope you come to the next event. Next one, we got Breachers, Airsoft Leon. You were running, I mean, you guys camped next to us. You were there for next to us pretty much the entire event. You give us tons of shout outs on all of our content that we create. I definitely appreciate that. Great footage, guys. Y'all had a harder job than what people think. I love the part that the camera shows the truck cockpit footage where every time you're a different song that had nothing to do with the MILSIM was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wanted to break things up a little bit.
Yeah. It was our first time running a technical, so why not?
So we had to do some different songs. We wanted to kind of pull away from the MILSIM a little bit, because at the end of the day, you're just watching me turn my truck around. Like, how exciting is that?
Except for the whole dance scene.
Yeah, other than the whole dance scene. Which you guys are always going to get good bloopers from us. We love giving you guys bloopers. It's Foxtrot. Great video. Thanks for letting me on the gun. Brother, you did a great job on the gun. Right. I'm glad you and your team were able to go out on the gun. I know you've given us a lot of support on our Instagram recently too. I appreciate that very, very much. Lots of love to you there, brother. Definitely join up with us the next time that we're going to have the gun truck there. I mean, unless we get told no, we're going to have the gun truck there. Terminator Bart. Bro, you give us tons of love. I totally appreciate it. Big shout out to you too, Ben. I know you just said Bert there, but you pretty much give us a good comment for almost every video we launch. So I definitely appreciate it. Call sign Dolphin, bro. I'm glad you had a fun time on the back of our truck too, man.
Call me Dolphin.
Oh, call me Dolphin. My bad. I'm so used to seeing call signs in the front of everything, man. But call me Dolphin. Thank you for joining us on the guns as well. I'm glad you had a good time. And you know, I really hope you guys all get a chance to come back on the truck next year too. You know, if you guys want to do this stuff, just let us know.
And we might actually try to do like, shit, we might even be able to do like a little drawing to see like if you do kind of like the Hilo mission, you don't have to pay for it or anything like that, but like the winner of like a drawing or something like that might be able to go and run a couple of missions with us on the gun truck. That'd be cool. Yeah,
it would be. And I honestly think that would be something easy to do too. So maybe we'll do that as a podcast. And yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. We honestly, we just thought of that on camera here. So you know what? Let's make that a release. If we have the gun truck for the next coming up Mir event, when it comes to being at this facility or another facility, because we're only going to bring the gun truck to local events in Florida. Unfortunately, I can't bring it any real farther than that. I don't have the gas mileage for it. I'm getting like 9 miles to a gallon on this thing. But definitely, we'll do a drawing. So anybody who wants to be on the gun truck, you just let us know, and we'll bring you on some of our missions together with us for next time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I dig
Sounds
that.
good. Sounds good.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about the footage right here. This is going to be coming up on my footage, I believe.
You can just fast forward through all that.
Yeah, right. So my footage, honestly, I had a great time with having Dane as my driver, or Infidel as my driver. He put me in some great spots. I definitely want to go absolutely in the middle of the shit show for being on the gun for the small amount of time that I was on the gun. I only think we went out like twice with me on the back. I don't think we went
something
out
like that. It was only a couple of times.
And I know you guys were real excited about the 360 cam footage. It didn't work out at all. My bad. It just didn't render at all. Yeah. We wanted to add it into the footage. It just wasn't rendering right. What we did get out of it was really shitty because it was covered in rain the entire time too.
Yeah.
So otherwise, we're going to do like this gun truck VR experience with you guys. And I know that I talked to a couple people about it. That's definitely not happening. It didn't render. Maybe for next time, but it just won't happen for this gameplay footage. But yeah, I mean, you were able to move me all the way up back into the spot where you and Cameron were at.
Yep.
I like that spot. I did get my nice little multi-kill there. I would say the only difference is I wish we had the squad. I wish we had our boys with us as well, because then we would have been able to kind of cover more ground. Because the second we moved up into one of those kill zone spots, we got taken out. It was that quick. And we can't really dismount because it's just me and him. So we had to call the hit automatically. Like there was nothing we could do.
Imagine if we could like pull like a little trailer behind or something like that that's like kind of fortified that we can use for like troop transport also. So
I don't mind
carry
doing
a whole
small amounts
in the back, so then as soon as we stop, we can dismount and push them all out.
Honestly, I like having the Nerf bars on the side, and I'll do the handlebars, because if they want to hold on to the side of the truck, that's great, but you're also giving armor to my truck. No pun intended.
But not only, yeah, but that becomes a little sketchy. I don't think much people are going to want to do that, because I don't think anybody really wants to get hit with a fucking couple of tag-ins.
Yeah, well, just don't be on the side of my truck the whole time. The whole point's to get off the truck.
But still.
They're going to learn real fucking quick. But, I mean, this was a nice little spot, too, because we didn't get to do this. Those doors were actually closed for our first couple of runs. Right. So it was nice being able to come up to those doors and give them a little bit of cover fire. Having Dane stop right here, I mean, that multi-kill just was slaughtered.
Right, they needed that right there for the push.
So, but having us move up, I did think it was sketchy, telling Dane to move up that way. I purposely did it because I wanted to be put into the action. That's just me. I mean, if I was going to be out there the very few times of the day, I wanted to go through some stops. Hey, Sebastian, real sorry for hitting you in the face, bro. These things are very inaccurate. He was our cameraman, not our cameraman, but the cameraman that was on the field for that day. Thank you for being a good sport. I appreciate it. I know I apologize there in the film.
He was there doing pictures with an Airsoft Alphonse, because he was there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know him and his squad were having a good time too.
Yeah.
And that was what got us killed. And unfortunately, we can't really do the two-hit system with that. We just called it right away, just because we weren't ready to dismount. So there was nothing we could really do. Where later on in the footage, we were able to dismount a little bit more. This was my second run. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of this on helmet cam footage. I don't know what happened there. So I don't really have any of my aspect from it. Templar, I'm glad that he got to enjoy it a little bit.
I like his camera too. It's really, his camera's nice. You can see his
blown out sight.
That was my first sight that I had that was just like that. It got blown out too.
And that was the second grenade that ended up taking us out. Or no, it didn't. We took him out before he threw the grenade, so then we didn't call that one. He had several hits, not just from me, but also Templar, and then that was the guy in the corner that eventually took Templar out. Which I had a couple people on the footage say, hey, we didn't see who took him out. That's the guy who did it. He was on the corner of the building. Yeah. I just didn't think of explaining that, so it was there. But sorry, you can't always see the people that kill you. I mean, it's no different than being sniped in the head. And I mean, you're not going to know who sniped you in the head if you're dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was the system. Once you're dead, we return back to base and just reset. And this is just, a short clip of it. But that's what we do. I definitely enjoyed running the technical, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I hopefully we get the opportunity to keep on doing it. I would really like to keep doing it. I am a bit nervous to find out that Enola Gay pea grenades now have ceramic balls in them now.
Yeah, the peas are different.
Ceramic balls and Enola Gay pea grenades will blow out eyewear. They'll blow out windows. They'll blow out anything that's glass instantly. So that makes me really, really freaking nervous, not just for my truck, but for people that have them go off like in their face. Because that could be a very big issue. I don't know when they switch to that, because they've used all sorts of stuff in those before in the past. But I was really surprised to find ceramic balls. Hey guys, we also do have a giveaway before we get off for the evening. We have 2 cameras here, right here. We have Run Cam, Scope Cam 2s. We're going to be drawing for the winner in the next podcast that you'll be seeing the next 2 weeks. But in order to win one of these, you have to like our Instagram, which is Jackals MILSIM Official. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have to like this video, and then comment below Giveaway 2024, not 2025, okay? So this will be the first drawing for 2024. It's our first drawing on our podcast. After that, we will have a secret drawing coming up on that day too for a second winner. So it won't just be one winner, it'll be 2 winners. So please, please, please follow the directions and subscribe, like, and go through our social medias. And hey, check out the content because we make it for you guys. It's the whole point. But you will get a choice. The first winner will get a choice between the long range and then the mid range. They're both 4K, and we may even include some SD cards with it too.
There, we got plenty.
So we want to be able to support you guys and make sure that people out like you are making content of yourself as well and getting out and playing, because that's what matters the most. So keep an eye on it, guys. And hey, catch us tuned for the next video as well. Big shout out to Blue Mag Group. Your ammo was amazing. We were able to use it all weekend without having any issues whatsoever. Xfog, Aaron, thank you very much. Without you, we would have been completely blind throughout all the rain.
Yeah, that would have been terrible without an Xfog.
So I mean, your product was probably the most useful. No offense to everybody else, but we definitely needed Xfog out there. The humidity was crazy, the rain was crazy, and it definitely helped a lot.
Right.
And then big shout out to Mir. I mean, thank you guys.
Absolutely, Mir.
Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do footage and content like this. So I appreciate it, guys. But hey, enough for the evening. Have a wonderful evening. Peace. Have a good night, guys.